welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Betsabe and today's video is about passive voice. So let's start! Another week, another video! Yay! As I mentioned, the topic of this video is passive voice. So let's start. But Betsabe, what is passive voice? Don't worry, let me explain you. The passive voice is a verbal construction in which the subject receives the action of the verb. Functions of the passive voice. We use the passive voice in the following cases. When it's a noun who performed the action, for example, that English video was made in March. We don't know who made that video. A beautiful mural has been painted behind my house. We also use the passive voice when we want to give more importance to what happened. For example, the English Google Meet session was called off. We can also use the passive voice when we don't want to say who did the action in the sentence. For example, this drawing had been made the last semester. The house was built in 1897. We also use the passive voice to express scientific contexts. For example, the rat was placed into a T-shaped maze. Those persons have been infected by COVID-19. Now here you have the structure of the passive voice. To form the passive voice, we use the following structure. The verb to be plus past participle of the main verb. Please pay attention in this part. We need the verb to be as an auxiliary verb in its different forms and conjugations. Here you have some of these conjugations and forms. Was, were been, will be, is, are being, must, might be. For example, here you have the present simple, the present progressive, the past progressive, the present perfect, the past perfect, and the modals. Here you have the modal will to express future, would, must, may. Structure of the passive voice. For affirmative sentences, we use this structure: subject plus auxiliary verb in its different forms, plus past participle of the main verb plus complements. For example, the Mount Fuji has been visited by thousands of people. For the negative sentences, we follow this structure: subject plus auxiliary verb in its different conjugations, plus not plus past participle of the main verb plus complements. The backpack was not kept by my little brother. And for the questions, for yes/no questions, we follow this structure: auxiliary verb to be in its different forms, plus subject plus past participle of the main verb plus complements plus question mark. For example, has BTS been invited to the White House? Yes, it has. And remember, for the short answers, we need the auxiliary. And for the information questions or WH questions, we follow this structure: WH word plus auxiliary verb to be in its different conjugations, plus subject plus past participle plus complements plus question mark. For example, what had been made by the linguistic students? I don't know, maybe their videos. And now, how to change sentences to a passive voice. To change a sentence from an active voice to a passive voice, there are several points to keep in mind. Number 1. The object of an active voice sentence becomes the subject of the sentence in the passive voice. For example, here you have a sentence in active voice. My brother washes the dishes every day. And here you have the object, and it becomes in the subject of the sentence in the passive voice. And remember, we need a sentence with a transitive verb. If you don't have a transitive verb, we can't change this sentence to a passive voice. Number 2. The principal verb or the main verb in the active voice is substituted by the auxiliary verb to be in its different forms and conjugations in the same verb tense, and the verb is then in the passive participle form. For example, here you have the verb wash in present simple, so we need the verb to be in present simple too, and the verb in past participle form. Number 3 and number 4. The subject in the active voice becomes the complement in the passive. For example, in the sentence in active voice, my brother is the subject, and it becomes in the complement. If in the passive voice we mention the subject who completed the action, the subject agent, this subject is normally introduced in the passive with the preposition by. Here you have the preposition by. This introduces the subject agent. Please pay attention. We always use the preposition by, not the preposition for. And here you have more examples. These videos are made by me. I made all these videos. The Cristo de la Concordia was built between 1987 and 1994. Harry Potter books have been translated into many languages. The song Chasing Pavements was written by Adele. I love that song. That song is beautiful. All English projects must be submitted by students tomorrow. And now the best section on the channel. Learning with songs. Let's go! That's all for this video. I hope you enjoyed. Thanks for watching and until next time. Bye bye.